Hey people, your favorite male femcel here. Space Marine 2's new operation, Termination, is good. Really, really good. It's honestly so good it feels like an actual campaign mission rather than just being some thrown together horde mission. I love it. This is the coolest thing I have ever seen. Now, you may have noticed from gameplay, they did something with the horde since they are numerous, with multiple elites included. Want to see how my first match went? I selected my Assault Marine because the playstyle is toxic and so is my taste in women, so he's the perfect match for me. Upon loading in, I glare at the Xeno's Bio Titan before we deal with our first group. The fight went on for a while, but we prevailed until a lictor jumped us, but it's okay because even though the Ultramarine got downed within 5 seconds, I still taught this abomination a lesson about messing with the Emperor's finest. Remember when I said the hordes were big? Well, they're big alright, quite numerous. One could say it's a horde. I survived this, by the way. Without editing magic, it may look rough, but I don't care because this was the coolest thing I've ever done in this game. It is the rawest feeling to be literally surrounded on the brink of death as I rip and tear my way through bugger filth. It was amazing. This game is amazing. Sanguinius is still dead, but the game is great. I didn't notice this, but the random I had with me left in the middle of my slaughtering spree. Give it up for an Ultramarine to turn tail and run. Courage and honor? Cousin, get some bitches. Speaking of bitches, I died like one because a fucking Neurothrope jumped me. That was fun, however, I refused to give up, so I went back as an assault and proved I was his finest son by getting my revenge on this abominable alien. I didn't get to finish it off, but in the game, the Vanguard and the assault classes don't like each other, so I will argue that killing wasn't worth my time, thus making me the better Astartes. Although I did give him the relic and allowed him stims, meaning I went through about 50% of the mission with the minimal amount of health, so that was fun. Seriously, I have no idea what they did with these hordes, but they are incredibly difficult, but I love it. I may be a masochist, but I love this. Even if I'm constantly low on health, I can't help but find every minute of it enjoyable. Hell, the hordes get so bad that I found out the hard way. I went as a bulwark with a group of randoms and I attempted lethal difficulty. We were 99% dead and a brother fell, so I decreed, "Run, brother," as we sprint towards the elevator. Trying to keep the Xenos off our backs, I spammed grenades and fucking died to them, which caused me to laugh so hard I coughed until my throat burnt. The other brother didn't get very far. However, I eventually made my way to a sick boss introduction. God, I love this game. This entire fight is chaos incarnate, and I mean metaphorically, not literal demons or chaos forces. The swarms are one thing, but the constant barrage of literal bug goo keeps things tense, since Space Marine 2 really makes you feel like you're being dissolved alive. If you still have PTSD from the Halo Reach wraiths, then you're going to love this part. The only annoying thing about it is that they can block the batteries that you have to recharge, but it's okay, because all you have to do is wait and pray that a swarm doesn't spawn in when you're the last brother standing. Seriously though, the fight is brutal, especially on Ruthless, which may explain why it was so hard for me, but I don't care, because I want to really feel like we're indomitable. Only complains that we don't get to fight alongside our fellow guardsmen as we take down the beast. You see them a little bit at the beginning, but they're mostly just there for set dressing. The only issue I've seen other than the gunstrike bug is the fact that a lot of you so-called brothers are being quite heretical, and I find it rude. If it isn't them leaving lobbies after getting downed once, it's specific scenarios like this one. Efka and I were playing when a fucking level 9 joined us. Now, sure, you'll see that he got the most kills, but who do you think survived the longest? I'll give you a hint, it sure wasn't him. This right here, what you're seeing, this was literally one of the most stressful events I've ever encountered in my entire life so far. Efka goes, like that wasn't that hard. Like, my brother in Christ, the spacebar is more broken than the Space Marine's mental state. It was fun though. Now, as for lethal difficulty, it is extremely brutal, unfair at times, especially with the boss spawns. Oh, that is fucked up, but it truly is a challenge. The battle-scarred helmet looks amazing, and I want it. Did I ever get in this recording? No. Why? Because I suck. You ever wanted to see what a toxic relationship looked like? Look no further than lethal difficulty, because you'll be fighting 2 lictors at once and about 10 different elites. It's crazy. I love it, and I despise this difficulty at the same time. I'll be ready to be waiting 300 seconds every time you skill issue, because I sure love watching the closest thing we will ever get to a 40k movie adaptation, since Henry Cavill's show isn't going to be good. Will he be at fault for that reason? Absolutely not. We kept on trying though. I'm not one to get too frustrated with games, but I won't lie, Space Marine 2 got hands. I haven't even fought Chaos yet, just the bugs, so I have no idea how brutal this can really be. Since I played this game way more than I should, I spent half of the game being the sole survivor. We had this guy bitch at us for not doing too well.
Nope, no fucking cohesion.
And yet, I find the time for both.
This is fucked. Oh, he left and stuff.
And he somehow rejoined in the same match before leaving again. Since we don't have team cohesion, I reverted back to my Dark Souls roots, rolling around and occasionally trying to hit an enemy. The hardest part about this was the constant barrage of zoanthropes. I jumped off the cliff trying to escape, and a random heavy, keep him in mind, he'll be important later, joined and we fell back. While tactically seeking a higher advantage, I planted a melta-bomb to take out the bulk of the elites, and then resumed hacking away at whatever the game threw at us. You ever seen a zoanthrope in a tight quarters area? I have. It is horrifying. This was a reoccurring theme since I was almost always left alive, being the one to clutch.
I'm back in business, my friend.
Wanna know when I didn't clutch? When a fucking Neurothrope killed me. But it's okay because they're a well-designed enemy whose AoE attack doesn't show when you're on a staircase that doesn't belong in hell, and I'm a good person, so I'll allow it. In all honesty, the one thing that really saved me was the upgraded banner. Once you select the upgrade that gives you a full bar of contested health, you can just spam the enemies with the plasma pistol and get a quick execution to fully restore your hit points. If you want to do this preemptively, you can do the same, just plant down the banner since the execution timer is very generous. I cannot understate how good the banner is on Lethal. The Bulwark might actually be one of the go-to classes if you want to have an easier time blowing through this difficulty. We did get jumped on the bridge by what I call a diggy hole Xeno because I forgot it was called a Ravager and I didn't want to say it when I was recording this so I wouldn't get bullied in the comment section, along with multiple lictors. I was able to smite them all and I stupidly engaged in a fight unprepared with no armor, but it was fun, so it's okay. You may have noticed that Efka and the random are dead, so the worst part is that I was able to outlive the timer and allow them to respawn, but we died at the end.
Oh no, he's shooting at us, you lied!
Wanna know what caused this death? 1. Zoanthropes. 2. What's worse is that Efka got downed when the Hierophant was at low health, and then I got downed by a psychic beam. Then this guy, the random. Remember him? This is what I call the worst throw I've ever seen in a PvE game because randoms can never be trusted, even when you're solo queuing. Now right here the audio track is muted because other than my talking, the reason it's muted is because I didn't reserve the best words for describing what I do with his mother in bed and how he's a no good person. So I'll leave it at that. Now I understand that I was out of line here, but you know what? It's okay because it was his fault. In conclusion, I love this update. I can't wait for more PvE missions and hopefully more PvP since it's so bare right now, but it can be so much more. I lied. This isn't the conclusion. Lethal difficulty is something I'll want to practice at because I want that battle-scarred helmet, since Space Marine 2 is one of those games where the more worn and torn a cosmetic is, the cooler it is, and the rule of cool outranks any other rules in the 31st millennium. Hi, Future Kobe here. Yeah, we're not at the end of the video yet. Here's how Lethal against Chaos went. Yeah, I got rocked. As you can see, warp magic was at play here, so I blame it on that. However, I want to strive to get better. I think the Tyranids are a bit easier because melee is more viable with them, from my experience, but the Rubric Marines and the various las-armed cultists that snipe you prove a lot more difficult. Here I surprisingly survived while being on the brink of death, and then here I was able to defeat 2 Terminators rather easily, just to die after a failed dodge. Bro got folded. Yeah, Chaos is difficult, but I will defeat them. At least I would if there were anyone else playing. Seriously, no one is queued up for the lethal matches even after pressing quick play. I don't have friends, and the friends I do have are stuck in this perpetual hell known as purchasing COD every year, complaining about it, and they're reverting back to whatever Modern Warfare remake they enjoy. However, I don't think I'll be getting the helmet anytime soon since the AI teammates aren't really the best from my experience, but maybe I just need to focus on range instead of melee for Chaos. Let me know in the comments. To vent this frustration, I joined a PvP match. Oh, motherfucker. Oh, well, I'm gonna finish my rant. And I made it my sole purpose to hunt down any Black Legion players, simply because they're the closest we will ever get to Horus. Speaking of which, I lost because I suck and so does the Black Legion. Might have to do with the fact that my ping is always in the red because I'm broke and I don't know how to change internet. I should really learn how to do that. Also, what the fuck did Saber do to their voices? They were perfect before and now they just sound like they went through whatever software to deepen it. Spamming the voice line just doesn't hit the same. Can't really yell for Abaddon or crush them to dust.
Crush them to dust!
Without it just sounding weird. And yes, I put a frowny face in my script. Will I show it to you? No. Hopefully they add the Dreadnought game mode from Space Marine 1. That would be awesome. Is this related to any topic or the video at large? No, not at all. That's all. Bye.